It's time for Market Explainer, your number one business news podcast. Hosted by Danny and the big man. And it starts right now.
We have discussed now Elon Musk buying, I think the first time we discussed it, he had bought the largest portion, that he become the largest shareholder.
Yeah, the 9%, right? Or 9.6% or whatever it was.
And then Vanguard had disclosed that before he had bought that, they had bought more shares. So they were actually the largest shareholder. Then Apollo Global Management, the owners that acquired all of Verizon Media, which was AOL, and Huffington Post and all this other stuff, and Yahoo. That Apollo Global Management had acquired them, said we'll put up money because Elon Musk had made an unsolicited bid to acquire Twitter at $54, and at which point Twitter, the board created a poison pill. So at that point, Elon Musk had to prove
he actually had the funds.
Well,
they threatened to use it, so he had to go back and show them that he had the
funds.
Well, and not show them, but show everybody, right? The company basically, as a whole. Like, hey, where are you getting this $44 billion?
Right. So this is all the chips are in the center of the table. Now we're calling. And so Elon Musk shows us cards. He now actually has the funds. The board goes back and they have a little dialogue. The CEO, of course, my cousin, Parag Agrawal, he's only worth $12 billion. I have a lot of questions about how he has $12 billion, but God bless America. And, their top attorney makes $175 million a year, Vijaya Ved or something, Vedi, I don't know. I should be able to pronounce it, but I can't. She also went on Joe Rogan and was vile. She's a horrible person, deserves to lose her job if she does. That's totally fine. All these people are not actually my cousins. I'm making
you're so judgmental today.
I am.
Just very judgmental today.
Today? Or is that just
it's really in general, but I was trying to
be polite.
Be polite. Yeah, go ahead.
So the story now, that's the last time on Market Explainer. That's what we just did. Mm-hmm. And now we're saying, here's today's episode. The board said we're going to buy it. And it's like that. What's that? I forget which. It's one of the prequels of the Star Wars movies where he goes, and I heard the younglings crying out.
Look, there are still two different ways that this deal could fall apart, right?
And I think it will. And I actually think it will.
The stockholders that are Twitter stockholders could still vote to turn this down. Right?
I doubt they do.
Believing that at some point it would be worth more than the $54 a share that he's offering, which at the time he originally offered it, it was, 20% above the current value. Now it's actually gotten closer to the $54 because everybody knows they're going to be getting $54. So everybody's been buying stock because if you can buy it for $48 and Elon Musk is buying it for $54, you're going to make $6 a share, right? So they could still vote not to. The security, the SEC, could come in and say, hey, we're not going to allow this. So there's still a couple of avenues for Elon Musk not to get Twitter, but he's past the biggest hurdle, right? Is they decided that it's not worth it to them or anyone else to poison the water, to use the poison pill, that they are going to give in to the acquisition if he meets these other hurdles.
I know,
right?
What a gnarly sentence you just said. They're going to give in. Hey, bro, they're making money. He is buying an unprofitable company.
Yeah, I don't know how Twitter makes money.
No one does.
Seriously, I don't understand how it makes money.
Well, and so in response to this, some people speculate that the current administration created their very own Ministry of Truth. The Department of Homeland Security now has a misinformation board. Well, I'm just saying. They have no problem because as a public company, they probably, various intelligence agencies probably have backdoors into Twitter. Now as a private company and a guy who's maybe not so friendly to the administration because they had a EV summit and didn't invite him, the number one seller in the United States of America of EVs, to the EV summit, that this is all just, and listen, there's a certain amount of I appreciate the pettiness. If that ends up at some point in time, we find out that he did this to screw people over because they were being mean. I love it. The pettiness, I love it. Right?
Elon Musk is kind of known that way. Like
Yeah.
it kind of, Ford came out, and I sent you that. Ford came
Yeah.
out and hit a shot about or over the bow against Tesla this week. But look, there's going to be two different, just to get some of the updates in here. There's going to be two options for you if you do currently own Twitter. If it passes regulatory and it passes as far as the voting, right? Does
Right.
pass. Elon Musk takes control. If you are a current stockholder, you'll have two options. You'll have option A, to sell it to Elon Musk for $54.20, whatever that works out to. Or
Right.
option B, you can choose to hold on to your stock after that point until it actually closes, meaning the company is transferred and taken private, right?
Right.
The risk to that, it's a risk reward. Do you think that company, the stock on the everyday market, is going to continue to grow past the $54, knowing that you're going to get paid, you know what I mean, eventually?
Right.
Or will the stock go to $20 a share afterwards because no
Right.
one's buying it on the daily market because it's
Right.
going private? But you do have those options. They can't just
Right.
take it from you that day in that way until it is taken private. Now, he came out, again, part of this update, he says he wants to accomplish four things.
Right.
He wants the addition of an edit button, which he says currently Twitter just won't give everybody. I
Right.
think that's pretty widely, people like at least some sort of. I need to be able to, because we are so grammar Nazis in today's world. I shouldn't use the word
Yes.
Nazi, but we are such grammar crazy people in today's world. If I use the wrong there, I should be able to go fix it. Right?
Right.
There, right? I should be able to go fix it.
You can just say grammar Democrat.
Quit it. The point though is that your entire, because of something like grammar, your entire
Yeah.
point of view can be
Misinterpreted or whatever. Yeah.
not even misinterpreted, but just negated, right? Because
Yeah.
you're an idiot because
Which
you use
is-
there instead of there.
Which is like, I chalk that up to millennials like me watching Jon Stewart on replay 24 hours a day on Comedy
Yeah.
Central. And he's just like, and that was that's a sense of humor, and that's fine. He's telling jokes. He's a comedian.
Right.
But people adopted that as a real personality. And
Right.
my thing to that is, if you can't see past a misspelling to see a greater point, you're actually stupid. You're
No,
literally an idiot. Because
I agree with you.
yeah,
But it is a thing, right? And if we can
Totally.
add an edit button, that's real number. The first thing. Second thing, he says he wants to allow Twitter Blue, which is a paid version of Twitter, which I'm not 100% certain what you get with Twitter Blue. But
yeah,
hey,
I don't-
whatever. There are people that pay for Twitter Blue, and you will be able to pay. He wants you to be able to pay with Dogecoin
done.
or other forms of cryptocurrency, right?
Okay.
He wants the algorithm of Twitter, which decides how and when you see on your feed, like every other
Right.
platform. He wants to make that public so that people understand why it is the way it is.
Correct.
I would agree that Twitter's algorithm, based on the articles, and I'm not a power user on Twitter. I have Twitter. I like
I am.
getting certain information from Twitter.
Right.
Their algorithm has definitely gotten worse. Why am I seeing a tweet from 6 days ago when I'm looking at news? I don't
Yeah.
care about 6 days ago. I care about what
Right.
happened just 5 minutes ago, right?
Right.
There's definitely something going on with its algorithm. I would be happy if they went back to 5 years ago where there was really no algorithm. They just showed you what the current things that people you follow are saying.
Right.
I would be fine with that.
Right.
And then number 4, he wants to do whatever is technologically possible. He realizes that it's not possible, but technologically, he wants to fight the spam bots, right?
Yeah.
Which is a real thing on Twitter and other platforms, especially on Twitter, because it's just a text-based system. You
Yeah.
have entire countries out there running thousands of bots saying all kinds of things
Right.
from propaganda to standpoint, you know what I mean, to whatever.
Right. And so I like all of his points. I have one banned account that I since this was announced, I've tried to log into it several times. It's just blank screens everywhere. But all of a sudden I log in, I see all my old tweets. I'm not able to tweet yet, but I think I'm going to be able to get my old handle back.
You
That
should
ain't
not.
bad. I
You
should.
should not.
I
No,
should.
no, no, no. You should
Yep.
not. But
It's
anyway,
gonna
those are the updates to the Elon Musk story. It's
right.
important for us every now and then. Day and Eve, I talked about that. There are certain times that we should do really quick follow ups, especially when
Yep.
something big changes right after we do the story. Right? We
Yeah.
go through this big explanation, and then something within that next week just pops up and says, "Hey,
Which
this
you'll
is different."
notice now we have the date of recording up on the
Mm-hmm.
screen so that you can, figure out, hey, why didn't they say X, Y, and Z about the story? Well, it hadn't happened at the time of our recording.
Exactly.
So